Our game of the week is Blackfoot versus Rigby. Blackfoot, one of the top teams in the state in 4A, while Rigby is the reigning 5A state champ. Here's how Blackfoot head coach Jared Ackley sees his opponent.
The class of Southeastern Idaho right now, defending state champions, won 2 out of the last 3. Extremely well coached, great culture, great environment, and it's a great barometer game for us to see exactly where we stack up against the best in the 5A in this area. Our ultimate goal is to win the last game of the year, and so games like this allow us to grow and to try to improve ourselves each chance that we get.
Rigby sits at 3-1 and are rested coming off of a bye week, but after only narrowly defeating the Broncos a year ago, they aren't taking their opponent lightly.
They play with a chip on their shoulder. They played us tough here last year. We barely escaped the win when those guys were younger. They lost last week to Shelley, so I'm sure they're going to be really, ready to play again to kind of get the bad taste out of their mouths.
That loss to Shelley was the first of Blackfoot's season, and Coach Ackley says they learned lessons, particularly on one side of the ball.
Some defensive struggles. Our offense certainly played well enough to win, but football is the ultimate team game, and we just all have to pick ourselves up and figure out the mistakes that we made and get better from that game.
Coach Ackley says his team isn't thinking about revenge after last year's loss to the Trojans, but if there is some hidden motivation, Rigby is ready for it.
Well, the last couple of years, they've kind of gotten used to being that team. It's everybody's big game, and it's kind of a badge of honor at this point. So it just makes sure that we have to pay attention to the details every week. You can't overlook anybody. But with teenagers, it's always difficult to keep their focus. So I will say we definitely have a challenge each week. That's why we have to be ready.
It's homecoming for the Broncos, and the theme is Life is a Beach. And the Broncos are pumped to have their fan support.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, our student body's phenomenal. We have a really, really rowdy student body, and our boys really feed off of that. And, a crowd, just Blackfoot's a great place to have a high school football game, and we're excited to be able to play it at home.
The Game of the Week on KPVI is sponsored by Ron Sayer Auto Group.
We'll have your highlights from the Game of the Week and plenty of others from around the area tomorrow night at 10 p.m.